All right, guys, welcome to this episode on Dogecoin. And why is it that I labeled this one with a huge warning on it compared to my other coins? I will stay neutral. I will just give you facts so that way you guys can make your own choices. Let's find out what is Dogecoin and what is this about. All right, so an introduction to Dogecoin. It's it started out back in 2013 by two software engineers, Billy Marcus and Jackson Palmer. And it started out as a meme. It was a sarcastic currency to make fun of Bitcoin. That's really how they started it, as a joke. Um, and it's a platform like Bitcoin or Ethereum or Cardano, and it uses proof of work concept by using crypto miners on processing transactions and supporting the blockchain ledger, kind of like Bitcoin and Ethereum does. So it follows the same patterns. Um, it started out, you know, when if you look back, it's like it was less than a penny. It's like you have 0.0004. I mean, it's like smaller, like less than a penny, and it was like that for many, many years, couple of years, from 2014 all the way through until February this year that I started picking up some momentum, and you kind of wonder like what caused this to jump so high. So we're gonna look into that. Um, when a tweet started by Elon, it it kind of started people paying more attention to crypto and Bitcoin and stuff like that. But for some reason, he really seemed to be attracted to Dogecoin, and he started talking about it. So here's Matt Wallace. He sends out a reminder: the Dogecoin update is coming soon. It will position Doge perfectly to become one of the most used currencies in the world. And Elon responded to that. Bitcoin and Ethereum are pursuing a multi-layer transaction system, but base layer transaction rate is slow and transaction cost is high. There is merit, in my opinion, to Doge maximizing base layer transactions and rate of minimizing transaction costs, with exchanges acting as the factor secondary layer. So particularly saying that everybody, while Ethereum and Bitcoin are trying to do second layers where they can lower the price and speed things up, he feels that Dogecoin can do a better job. Okay, and right now this is just based on what they see, an opinion, based on they're pushing their product. Okay, so tweeted all of a sudden made this no longer a joke. And Dogecoin started soaring, and it started bringing people into it, and people started buying into it, and it started following and find out, man, what's going on. It even has a Wall Street Journal report that an unknown entity currently holds roughly 28% of the Dogecoin in circulation. That's about $2.1 billion that somebody's holding. Okay, so kind of like a tweet started this whole chain reaction of a currency that's been around from 2014 that hasn't done much. And so it goes, no joke, Dogecoin soars after Musk polls his followers whether Tesla should accept it. So that's where kind of doing like a poll, and people were saying yes or no. So he got away from Bitcoin, saying they were going to take Bitcoin to buy cars from Tesla, and I was saying, I wonder if I should let Dogecoin do it. He hasn't that, as of my knowledge, as right now, it has not happened. It was just something that he just wanted to see what people thought of it. Okay, and so that made more tweets come out by famous people. And over here's the Wall Street Journal I was just telling you about, that there's someone holding it for $2.1 billion. And so that Elon Musk tweeted Dogecoin is for the people crypto, well, it's the people crypto. And then he goes down and you got, Snoop Dogg, he did his thing. And then you got Gene Simmons, the bass player for Kiss, Whoopi, Dogecoin, skyrocketing to the moon, huddle. And then it just kept growing and growing. And that started getting more people attracted to it. And you got U.S. Congressman declares investment in Dogecoin, Ethereum, and Cardano. And then you got more. And I'll link all these on the bottom so you guys can read the article. So just don't want this thing to be forever long. And you got billionaire Mark Cuban says he holds 3,250 Dogecoins that he bought with his son, and earns added inflows from Dallas Maverick sales. Now, when he invests way more. This is just 3,000 to him is like, a drop in the bucket. 3,000 is nothing. When he invests way more than that. So it's not really a big hold there when you really think about it for him. But anyway, we'll move on. A Republican House member bought Dogecoin, and it's already sitting on the gains of thousands of dollars. So here the momentum keeps going and keeps going, right? So more tweets after tweets, and so what is this hype about? Why, we haven't, all we did was just hype, but we haven't really looked at what does the coin even do. It's just people are following tweets, following the hype, following stuff, but do we know what it does yet? Well, that's what this is for. Brokerage El Toro says client holdings of Dogecoin vaulted above Bitcoin and Ethereum in the second quarter. So everybody's jumping in, they're all buying. But what does it do? All right. Similarities and differences between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Because remember, Dogecoin is just like Ethereum and just like Bitcoin. So why is it that they say it's better or worse? So here this article has the similarities and differences. Since the early days of Dogecoin inception, it hasn't seen a whole lot of major updates in its core software. While the framework is almost entirely the same as Bitcoin, there are a few notable changes. So there's three of them that they set out, and I'm trying not to go through this whole thing, but kind of I have to so you kind of see what the differences are. So the first one is that Dogecoin processes blockchain of transaction every 1 minute, and compared to Bitcoin that does it every 10 minutes. This is intended to make the currency more transactional, as payments can process it in around the same time as the block size. So they're trying to make it to where it's faster. The second Dogecoin supply has stopped having, they keep cutting it in half for the Bitcoin to make it harder and harder to mine, where Dogecoin, they don't do that. Like Bitcoin, whose supply halves every 210,000 blocks, Dogecoin supply stopped having after 600,000. All right, so it's saying that it's easier for the miners to mine, easier to for it to process, and it's faster to deal with, where Bitcoin is getting harder and harder and more time consuming. Third, Dogecoin network is immensely less secure. So here's where the differences are, where Dogecoin is less secure than Bitcoin and why they go into it. Dogecoin's network boasts a hash rate currently around 464 THS. The THS, T stands for trillion, of course, and HS is hash rate per second. So that is 464 trillion hash rates per second, whereas Bitcoin is much more mature and it's got this humongous number of hash rate per second. So it's a lot more difficult. This means that a 51% attack on Dogecoin isn't really that expensive. For an estimated $10 million, anyone who had the dough could take over the network and send the $75 billion market cap plummeting in seconds. So that will make Dogecoin a lot more vulnerable for attacks than Bitcoin would be. So there's the differences between the two of them. So one is faster, Dogecoin is quicker to do transaction, it's a lot more open for attacks as well. And we've seen cryptocurrency be attacked constantly. Ethereum has been attacked so many times, it's ridiculous. So you know that they're going to always be out there attacking these coins and trying to make money and take money from people. All right, so the difference also is in Dogecoin. It is the number seventh ranked, people holding it the most. But the one thing that you should know, that what makes a coin valuable is the limited amount that you have available to you. They don't have a maximum supply. So technically, they just keep producing coins non-stop. So there is no maximum supply for these guys. But literally, it is designed for 10,000 new Dogecoins to be issued every minute for the rest of eternity. That means that the value will never really hold. It's a cryptocurrency that is meant for it always to go cheaper. So the more it keeps coming out and the market keeps getting flooded, then it makes the value of the coin itself always be dropping, which is kind of, make it harder. Why would you want to invest in something that is going to get cheaper by the minute? So investors should also note that Elon Musk has clarified his Dogecoin comments as jokes, and that has come up before. Likewise, Mark Cuban has expressed his belief that Dogecoin has no intrinsic value. So if you want to buy a few tokens for fun, just know that you're basically buying a lottery ticket. If you are actually looking to invest in cryptocurrency, there are better coins out there. And remember, I'm not an investor, a financial investor, so always do your own research. This is just letting you know what's out there, and you guys make your own decision on these things. Now, I looked at the Twitter accounts or Twitter stuff for Dogecoin, and they really haven't posted much of anything, like anything new. Like they just, it's true, much operational security, so multi-syncing, wow. But when you go through this whole thing, they really haven't posted anything in a long time that anything new is coming out. I looked at the other one, Dogecoin, which is theirs, and all they have is their particularly the car in NASCAR going sideways through the finish line right there. So it's like it's more of a fun coin than it is an investment. Like everything you go to, just gonna leave this right here. Like, okay, what? Like there's nothing saying, they're not really showing anything that they're trying to improve anything. Let's see. So here is a Charles Hoskinson and being interviewed by Lex Fridman, and he kind of goes through, asking him what he thought of Dogecoin. Now, remember, this is the competition. That is true, but there is truth to what he's saying, and this could cause issues for all of us in a cryptocurrency. So it is something to really pay attention to what he's trying to say, because Charles is trying to improve, the crypto for mankind, really, to kind of keep it from the few controlling the many. And this could open doors for bad things if we're not careful. So I'll let him explain this.
You mentioned God. God spelled backwards is dog. How's that for a transition? And Elon Musk and Tesla are at least a little bit curious about a coin called Dogecoin.
Right.
You made a video directed to Elon on how to improve Dogecoin. What are your ideas for making Dogecoin even better than it already is?
Well, Dogecoin is just it's like that Nine Inch Nails song, a copy of a copy of a copy. Yeah, it's just a copy of a copy. It's Bitcoin gave Litecoin, Litecoin gave Dogecoin, and it was kind of a parody cryptocurrency. And I think Jackson was trying to do it to prove a point about altcoins, and then true to form, it's like nobody got the doctrine and completely perverted the entire religion. It's almost like the Emperor of Man and Warhammer 40K. It was like this atheist, don't worship me, and now there's like this whole religion built around the Emperor. So Dogecoin has become a thing, and it's become such a large thing that it is a reasonable target for somebody to fix it up and repair it, make it an interesting cryptocurrency. The point of the video was to show what a modern third-generation cryptocurrency really would require. It's a major overhaul, and there are already people doing this. There's the Solanas and the Harmony Ones and the Cardanos, Neoses, and all these other guys, and they have billions of dollars and huge dev teams and all these innovative protocols. If you're really serious about this thing sticking around, being useful and doing stuff, then the point of the video was to show the types of things you'd have to think about and the types of papers that are all open source, patent free, and don't have any notion of intellectual property behind them that his engineers could grab and go and do. And he did mention on Twitter that he was looking for feedback on how to improve Doge. And so I said, all right, well, I'll just put all these things together. It was a little tongue-in-cheek because I figured he'd ignore it. But it was also showing how hard it is to innovate in this entire space. You don't just go and say, I'm going to go build a battery-powered car or rocket or enter a new industry. It's really hard to do that. You spend years and lots of effort. You have to do a series of small learning steps. You have to pick up destroyed rockets on the side of the beach and things like that before you get to the rocket landing itself. Well, analogously, it's really hard to build a cryptocurrency. Satoshi probably spent years thinking carefully, and that work was a derivative of 30 years of work in the digital asset space starting in the 1980s, working its way through. So, and then Bitcoin only did very limited things relative to what Ethereum can do or Cardano can do and so forth. So the minute that you extend that complexity, you're talking about years of R&D, years of engineering effort that needs to be done. So what's the point of Doge? Is it just a meme? Is it actually contending to be useful? Or is it competing as a store of value against Bitcoin? Now, if it's competing as a store of value against Bitcoin, why the hell does it have the monetary policy it does? Also, there's predatory distribution of the underlying asset. Over 90 some percent is consolidated, less than 1% of the holders
For Dogecoin.
for Dogecoin at a very, very low price point. So they can sell at almost any price point and make a profit. So, it hits 50 cents, they're billionaires. And it's not like 20,000 people. It's probably less than 100 wallets that have that distribution. So there's this existential ticking time bomb that's in Doge that once the guys who are vested start selling, they can just keep selling and ride it all the way down and make windfall profits regardless of what price they sell at. And who are they selling against? The retail investors. People who make $500 spare money a month or something like that. And it bothers me because I see it in my community. So I live in Longmont, out in Colorado, and I was at a restaurant and I was talking to the waitress and she asked me what business I was in. I said, I'm in the cryptocurrency space. And she's like, what is that? And I started explaining all of it. And she says, oh, yeah, I own some Dogecoin. I said, you own anything else? No, I just bought some Doge. Why did you buy Doge? Oh, I saw Elon tweeting about it, and I thought it was a good deal. So when you see stuff like that, where people have no clue what they're doing, they don't really understand the supply dynamics, the ownership dynamics, and these types of things. And then when the clock stops, they're the ones who get hurt. And then the regulator comes in, the Elizabeth Warrens of the world, and they say, see, this is an evidence these guys can't regulate themselves, control themselves. We need to control everything. Either let's ban it or let's just announce that the only 3 are legitimate and every one of them has to be connected to identity and rah, rah, rah. And I'm just very concerned that that's a bad thing to do. And that's why I've been so vocal about this topic. And my hope is that a compromise can be made where real developers come in and they start working on Doge and they find a way to create some sort of use and utility for it. So at least it has a value floor. And, it won't collapse.
Is it possible for Cardano and Dogecoin to work together somehow?
Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun. I'm not adverse to the idea of cleaning up the code base, but legitimately whoever comes in, be 2 years or 3 years of work, because you have to do real stuff. And that code is like Litecoin circa 2012, 2013.
Well, the interesting thing about Elon, and I've got to interact with him quite a bit, that combination of humor and extreme ambition, like in the face of impossible odds, is something he does really well. And so I think that's the spirit of Dogecoin, is fun and almost like bold, ambitious innovation. And so I think you can't discount the power of that.
But where's the innovation? What's the agenda?
Well, this is step one.
What's
right.
going to Mars for Dogecoin?
Well, he came in the same way to rockets. He came in the same way with, to electric cars. Seemed impossible at first, but you step in and you solve the problems, first principles, one at a time.
But I'll challenge you a little bit on this, because I think he had some trends that he was very smart to recognize. In the case of battery powered cars, he said, hang on, everybody has tablets and cell phones and these other things, and there's an incentive to make batteries better, faster, cheaper, and charge faster. And that's connected to mobile computing. So regardless if you want battery powered cars or not, every year you have billions of dollars of R&D being pushed to force this capacity to evolve. And he's just getting on the train and piggybacking on that. So that was a brilliant business acumen to recognize that. In the case of SpaceX, it was just an obvious question. If every time you get on a plane, you have to throw the plane away, no one would fly. So reusability is like a fundamental thing that if you solve that, you've now opened space up to a complete new class of commercialization. I don't see the problem in Dogecoin, because if he was looking for it, then why not look at a real platform actually trying to solve a real problem? There's so many of them. He throw a rock, he can hit 15 of these guys, and they'd all die to work with Elon Musk.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I mean, so first, I could continue pushing back on your intuition about electric cars and batteries and so on. I don't think it's more obvious in retrospect than it is at the time, I would say, because I would agree with you on the batteries front. I wouldn't necessarily agree with you with the electric car, because first of all, nobody started a successful car company for decades.
Well, but it was the loyalty. The EV4 guys, or whatever it was with GM, they didn't want to give them back when they had the lease program.
So there's some basic intuition that there is some hunger here, but it's not obvious that you can do it successfully. And with relaunching rockets for cheap, that sounds good on paper, but to do it well, NASA is spending way more money for this. And the Russians were assholes, not selling any rockets. So you have to do it all yourself from scratch. How do you build the team? How do you how do you launch rockets when if you fail a few times, you're going to go bankrupt?
Right.
I mean, it's just business-wise, I would rather build an app like Angry
Oh
Birds
yeah. He's got.
than launch rockets.
You got to give him credit. He's got boulders for balls. I'll give him that. He's a good
Yes.
pitcher.
Yeah, thank you for that. But maybe that's what, I mean, I think there's not enough first principle thinking on the cryptocurrency side. I think I agree with you on that. But there's some aspect to which the seriousness of the cryptocurrency world is paralyzing. So in some way, the innovation that you spoke to requires taking risks, requires not taking everything so seriously, like being afraid to take those bold risks in the space of ideas, not in the space of financials. So in that way, I think that's one pro for Bitcoin is there's room, it's hungry for innovation. But I think Cardano in that same way is hungry for innovation, just like as you said, with some more rigor and formalism behind it. And even Ethereum has a hunger for innovation. That's where Bitcoin is a little bit more, I would say, conservative in terms of how much innovating they're willing to do, in terms of the incentives they built into the systems for the evolution of the cryptocurrency. But yeah, I mean, it's difficult to psychoanalyze why Dogecoin is the thing that excites Elon so much. But at the same time, there's some power to the fun. It sounds ridiculous to say. But the fun, this idea that the most entertaining outcome is the most likely.
Right.
There could be something built into the physics of the universe that makes that true, because the viral nature of fun has power.
Well, it's a neuroscience thing. We like dopamine. We like these chemicals in our brain, and when we have fun, we want more of it. So you tend to gravitate towards work activities and play activities that are enjoyable to you. And it is nice sometimes to kind of come in and troll an entire industry.
Yeah.
And I can imagine he's probably having the time of his life. It's the same as like taking Tesla private at 420.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's one thing when you do it with friends. It's another thing when you do it with the whole industry and it hurts people financially. And also I understand he hates short sellers and there's some things there. And I can't speak for him because I only know the guy from a distance. It's just I live in this space and I have to deal with the consequences and clean up the messes.
You feel the pain.
Yeah, and if this results in a regulatory event, it's like I'm the guy who has to put on a suit and go to Washington and go and sit in a Senate inquiry and all this stuff. And he's the guy that just like laugh with his friends about how he crashed the crypto market and how easy it was to do it. And that's my only umbrage about this. On the other hand, if it brings a lot of cool, new, interesting things and people into the space, that's a net positive. And so, it's not universally bad or universally good. And
all right, so here you go. Now you have what he thinks of what's going on. Galaxy Research Alex Thorne and Karim Helmi explained in a note to clients on May 4th. It said, unlike many other cryptocurrency projects, there's no grand vision, no pronouncements about how Dogecoin is going to change the world. So it's like it was a fun token. It was made for fun that somehow now they're trying to find a way to make it work, but it's still using old technology. And it's like you're still, stuck in the past trying to make it something better. And just from watching what Ethereum went through and all the stuff, the issues that they're having, if Dogecoin is building on the same technology, then they're going to have the same problem. That's why, you got Polkadot and Cardano and all them starting from the ground up so they can get past all those issues, not repeat the same ones. Well, here's what the market looks like. They're at 21 cents. They went all the way up to 73 cents. And slowly, like all the other coins, it's still dropping, still working its way down. So it's just one of those things. So you have to make a decision. Do you believe in the product of what Dogecoin is doing, or do you believe in Elon? Is Elon holding the price up with his tweets, or is the Dogecoin the product that can help businesses and people that makes the price go up? So that's something that you have to kind of decide and figure out where you want to go. in the product. So are you buying short term? Are you buying long term? Are you going to hold? Here are the facts. You guys decide. And be nice if you guys put some comments on the bottom because I really would like to know what you guys think. And that's all I got for you guys. See you guys on the trading floor.